The gear I use to run my photography business, as well as the apps, and also a desk setup video for the first time ever here on the channel. This video is sponsored by Vernal. They're the ones that made this desk we're gonna talk about in a little bit, as well as a cabinet. My bag, my photography bag for weddings fits in this cabinet. It's crazy. First, let's start with the wedding photography gear update. So the new lens that I'm actually using is the 26 2.8. It's the smallest, it's a pancake lens for Nikon Z series. This is on a Nikon Z6 III, and no focus breathing. No, there's a lot of focus breathing, but it's small, and I like that for travel. So Nikon Z6 III's kind of become my main camera. It does 4K 60 full frame and not APS-C like this Z5 II does. So that is the one differentiator for me. I'm gonna say like 70, 80, 90% of my weddings, maybe all of them except for I had 4 weddings this weekend, and 2 of them were my first 2 photo only days in a minute. Most of my wedding days are hybrid photo video days. So the Z6 III has become my main camera, at least until next year. Who knows? I really enjoyed using the Z8 that I did a video on. I can do an easy screen record of the Z8 because there's no blackout. So it's very pleasant to watch. You can see through my viewfinder. Whereas if I did the same video with this Z6 III, you would see the black every time I took a photo. So that'd be a bit of a bummer. On the Z5 II, this is the 35 1.4. I like this lens a lot. You're gonna see a bunch of videos on the channel coming up soon with the 35mm f1.2. Beautiful, amazing, wonderful lens. For me, it's just too heavy. It's wonderful. If I only had to bring one lens to a wedding, I guess it probably would be the Tamron 35 to 150. That one's right here. This, best ceremony lens ever made. This is an all-day do-everything wedding lens. It is also a little bit heavier. That's why I like to have the 35. I also like to shoot at 1.4 pretty often, although f2 is pretty nice. So this lens might be redundant for your kit if you don't want to get one that overlaps. Tamron 35 to 150, beautiful, beautiful lens. And it is still absolutely in my bag for Nikon Z series. Another lens that overlaps with that Tamron 35 to 150 is this 85 1.8S. And the reason I have this is for receptions. And once we sit down for dinner, it usually becomes my main lens for speeches, even first dances. I have a second camera with me, so I'll probably have a 35 on one camera, 85 on the other, but 85 becomes my main, absolutely. This all said, I did a wedding with Liam. We have a few full wedding days with him up on the channel. And he was using 135, and I was like, you know what? I want a 100. Does Nikon have a 100? Nikon Z series. Oh, they have a 105. It's f2.8. It's a macro. So even though I don't know, it's fine, but it basically overlaps directly with this. So sorry, Nikon 105. Thanks for joining me on that side quest. 85 1.8, a lens that is always in my bag. Next in gear, the thing that I use every day, iPhone. This is the 17 Pro. It's nice. I got it in silver because the other colors are a bit crazy. And then I put a green case on it, and it's bigger than my old phone, which I don't love. But if you're trading in last year's phone for this year's phone, and it's a device you use every day, I also hide a lot of footage from this into YouTube videos, and not wedding days and not commercial, but stuff here on the channel. And the front camera is really nice, and that was probably my primary reason for upgrading, as well as just the fact that I can trade in my old one and still get in Canada, this is about $1,700, and I can get about $900 or $1,000 trading in my old phone. So to have a device that I use every single day, all year, I'm happy to spend that $700 to upgrade. And it's also a business expense, so tax write-offs. Join my tax channel. It doesn't exist yet. I should do that though. Other things I use, Godox V100 and the XE3 controller, or the EX3. I never know which one it is. The small one. It's very nice. That's my off-camera flash setup, and I also use Neewer light stands. I've been trying to find good quality light. I don't know what the deal is. I've searched, I've bought stuff. I got the K&F light stand, and I thought it was gonna be the one, but then as soon as I started to extend it, the poles pulled apart, and then it pinched me. So Neewer, they're inexpensive. It's like $30 for a 2-pack, maybe even less, depending on where you live. And I'm happy enough with them to tell you about them. This year I've been using Angelbird Cards. They're very nice. I have a 2 terabyte in this here Nikon Z6 III. That gets me 68,000 images or something in RAW for weddings. I like to not have to wipe my cards. So this past weekend when I shot 4 weddings, everything is on that 2 terabyte card. And then I cycle my backup cards. So I'll have a 512 in there for maybe 2 weddings at a time. My backup process, which I'll talk about in a minute here, is pretty solid, but I still just don't like to wipe the cards. It's just another level of backup that I like to have. And then into bags, I use Pic-Time Everyday Messenger or the Wotoncraft Pilot, the 7-liter. So if it's a smaller wedding day, or maybe I'm just doing photography only, Pilot 7-liter, it's nice, it's small, it's easy. If I need more stuff, I will bring the chunkier Peak Design Everyday Messenger. Over here, I have a card case. This is an Outback Steakhouse pin. I believe it's for the Outback Steakhouse that's in Tokyo Disney or near Tokyo Disney. Thank you, Jason Vong and Vivian. You might recognize them from my birthday a few years ago at Outback Steakhouse in Shibuya. Tim is also with us. This is the one that Lindsay set up quite a system. So she actually has a card that goes up here. I think it might actually come with it, and it has a dry erase marker and then marks down the card, and she marks it all down and has a very good storage system. I have a less good storage system, but I still like this case a lot, and it's better than just having a bunch of loose cards all around your desk. Get this, links to everything down below. Next up, lights. So I have a few Lume Cube lights here. They're the sticks. So this is my travel one that easily fits in a carry-on, and then my studio one is one of the, I don't know how big it is. I'll put links again to everything. I'm gonna say it's like a 3 foot, 4 foot stick, and it gives a crazy catch light in my eye probably because it's just a big stick, but it lights things. It's very easy. I can put it behind my monitors if I want to do some sort of web broadcast and use my computer. I can put it anywhere. I don't know if you saw it, but it comes with this little tripod thing here. It's very nice. So without the light, actually that lighting is not even that bad. The office, we painted it, it's white, bounces some light. You can also bounce this off of stuff. So maybe rather than pointing it straight at me, maybe that's nicer and softer. We're gonna change the lighting up halfway through the video. How's that? Light sticks bouncing off the wall over there. Now it's nice and soft. Wow, lighting. I also love that this 26, I can hear it. So every time it focuses back and forth, it's doing the little clicks. All right, now moving into the desk, and this is the sponsor of the video. So Vernal sent me all of this furniture. I got 2 cabinets. I'm gonna again put links to officially what they're called. There's products and there's modifiers. This is an L-shaped standing desk. It is the largest and the best desk that I've ever had in my lifetime. Standing desk, you might be like, I'm never gonna stand. The number one benefit for me is that I can actually just raise it to the exact height that I want my desk. I've always either just adjusted my chair or just grown used to using a desk at whatever height that it just comes at. Now I am in full control, so I can put it exactly where I want it and life is better. My desk also matches the 2 cabinets as well. So that's just really nice. It's wonderful to actually have good storage as well. For a long time, I had storage, it wasn't good. Now everything's a lot more organized, or as organized as it can be, but it all looks very nice together. Standing desk, as you know, it can go up and down. It's fun, right? Now it goes down. And you have presets here, so you can set this. This is just my regular everyday. So this is where it's gonna sit on number 1, number 2, number 3. You also have the ability, so if you are gonna be putting it over top of furniture, you can set minimum and maximum distances. So the desk isn't going to bop something down below. And also if it does sense a collision, it just reverses. So it'll touch the thing and then it'll just reverse itself. Overall, the materials, very, very solid. Everything feels like it's gonna last. I think it says on the site, it's gonna last 15 years. And I would believe that. And you can also mirror this desk as well. So I have it set up so that this piece here, show you a little more of the desk. Don't look back there. I was hiding that. We'll talk about my poor cable management in a minute. This piece here, depending on where you want it, if you want it your left or right, you can do that when you're assembling the desk. Accessories that I also got, I got this monitor stand and this keyboard drawer that keeps these things off of my desk, and that's where the Fuggler lives too. Look at the Fuggler's teeth. In here I also have more capybara stickers. It's a keyboard drawer, so you can use it as a keyboard. I do not, I just use it as storage to hide my messy things. This desk is also rated to hold up to 331 pounds, which is what, 3 average size capybaras, which is a lot of capybaras to have on your desk. Regardless of what you're gonna be putting on here, you're gonna be fine. Also, the stability at standing height is incredibly solid and well made. Sizes of desks range from 120 centimeters to 200 centimeters, and 7 color options are available. Prices start at $429, but if you use the link and the discount code here on the screen, you get an extra 6% off plus $70 off classic sets. And now let's turn around together and relight the scene. Get my stick. See, look at how versatile this thing is. Here we go. Just light the wall. I feel like we need a little bounce right here too. I don't want to get a second light. Oh, you can see don't look at the things you're not supposed to see. I framed them out strategically. Now here we are on the desk with Taylor. That's not a YouTube channel. Monitor on top of it, little shelf underneath here, which is really useful or will be useful. So this week has gotten out of hand. So I'm home this weekend after shooting 4 weddings last week. So 4 weddings. There's gonna be a video coming about that because I think it's kind of interesting. Thanks to a program we're gonna mention in a minute here. Everything was edited the day after the wedding. So I would shoot the wedding from noon until 9 p.m. I would call the wedding usually over dinner when I had some downtime. And then I would come home, I would make my final selects for the dancing party, and then I would upload them to Imagen. I would go to sleep, I'd wake up in the morning, and I would refine through a process that I've talked about here on the channel, where I just do my editing in library mode in Lightroom, which is really, really fast. And then by 10 a.m., I would have a Pic-Time gallery online. I'm not gonna send it to my couples. I sent them some previews, but the final gallery with near final images is just online the day after the wedding, which is amazing. And I'm going to talk you through my workflow while I talk specifically about all the stuff I just kind of touched on. The monitor stand, we have a Benq, again, I'll put links down below to everything, monitor. I basically just wanted something of this size. Now I can actually go bigger because I had a much smaller desk, and that's also why I went with these smaller speakers. So these are Edifier. I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly. They were the best, lowest profile speakers I could find, and they have LEDs on them, which makes me look cool to the 14 to 17-year-old demographic. It doesn't. But now that I have a larger desk, monitor probably is gonna stay the same. Could even do a second monitor over here or another one up here so that I have 3, but I feel like that's excessive. But I can do larger speakers that look a little bit nicer because while these are very, very nice to listen to, they're not the prettiest, but that's fine. I'm over it. I am on the Macbook Pro M4, and I use the solid state drives, the contraband ones, the SanDisks that there's currently a class action lawsuit for. I use these as working drives. If you are buying new drives, buy probably anything else. I've had no issues, strangely. So this is just for Lightroom catalogs usually, and then everything is also backed up on the sneaky hard drives you can kind of see behind there. Again, this is a very compressed and tight week, so unfortunately I didn't get to do all of the organization that I want. I will be doing some cable management. I might find a better solution for where I store my hard drives, so things will look a lot better within here, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, I'm off to France to teach a workshop in a couple of days. And that meant that I had to do this full desk setup and everything in a couple of days and still also maintain my regular weekly workload because I have a wedding tomorrow, and then the day after I go to, I guess, Amsterdam to see Sigur Rós. They're playing with an orchestra. It's gonna be nice. And then I go to France to teach a workshop. Fair is gonna be there. Fair is a wonderful human being. Follow him on Instagram because he's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And he's a wonderful artist as well. I'm very excited to spend some time with Fair, but all of this comes at the cost of my desk setup that it's 3/4 done. And the remainder of cable management and putting some art up on the walls here is going to come at a later time. Shure MV7 Plus, I almost got that product name right. And if you are using a tripod, or I guess a tabletop stand like this, you have to put something on the bottom to absorb sound, just as a note. So get some foam or something. I also transitioned to just a regular tabletop stand like this from the big boom arm. I used to have a big boom arm and it was great. It's just really, it's a lot. It looks really intense. This space looks nicer overall. Even just removing that boom arm, I feel like just made my life a lot happier. And now I can bring this microphone everywhere that I want because it's not attached to a boom. Now, let's talk briefly about software. I am part of the Adobe. I'm not an ambassador or anything, but I just use their products. Premiere Pro is what I use for all my video editing, and my editors also, so when they send me projects, then I'm able to work with them easily. That's how it works. And then I also use Adobe Lightroom as well. I have a full workflow video if you do want to check that out. I do use Photoshop still. I know a lot of people only use Lightroom. I use Lightroom Classic. It also works with Imagen, who is what I use for editing. So if you use the link, I'll put a link down below, you get 1,500 free edits as well as you get my profile. If you just decide to sign up, you'll get my profile. It's sent out manually at the end of each month. So if you don't receive it instantly, know that it is coming, but a person has to send that email out every single month. And what Imagen is, it's basically you build a Lightroom catalog, which I'm sure you've done before, and then you send that to Imagen. And then Imagen will just pattern recognition edit everything. You can use a talent profile, which is just based on like what John Branch, I don't know, like 40,000 images that John Branch edited. It'll be like, okay, this is what John did in this situation, and this is what I'm gonna do to your image that looks similar to what he would have done here. So it's pattern recognition in a sense, but it's very smart. You can also build it just on your own editing style as well. So if you have a few thousand edits that you're able to train the system with, it's gonna do a pretty good job. You can also just build it off of a preset as well. So if you have a preset that you like, you pick a few things, you're like, I want warmer images, I want my magenta here, and then boom, you have a profile generated. And I would say that's the easiest way, but maybe the less good. I would say if you just want to give Imagen a shot, try one of the talent profiles and see what it does to your images, a full gallery. Don't just throw out like 10 random images. Use the link, get 1,500 free edits, and set it an entire wedding day. You can also, if you are using one of the talents, you can re-edit as well. So you can try one, and if you don't like that one, you can try others until you find a style that's similar to yours. You can also adjust all the profiles as well. So if you find one that's like 85% of the way to where you would want it to be, you can modify it, make it brighter, make it warmer, more contrast, less contrast. You can tweak colors, you can do anything you want. or you can just build it based on your previous edits. Another program I use that I don't know if I recommend this one now, Adobe Bridge is probably gonna get everything that you need, or at least that I'm gonna talk about here. Photo Mechanic is a program that I've been using for many, many years. It is how I do my image selections. So my culling, I am doing my selects in there, as well as syncing my cameras if we forgot to sync our time. So that's primarily what I use it for. It's just really fast. Bridge or even culling and making your selects in Lightroom is more than fast enough now. But I still use Photo Mechanic, I don't know, maybe forever. I'll be the champion of that product that I use probably 10% of the functionality. Next thing that I use every day, or somebody uses every day, my website. So Focal built me this website and I made very, very few changes. I need to get a better photo of me with no sunglasses, but other than that, I am very, very, very happy with this website. I am a part owner of Focal. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it a ton on the channel. It's also a CRM backend system as well, so you can take all your contracts and your payments and your bookings, you can do questionnaires, and everything you need within the Focal system. So it's just your website and your CRM is all just in one spot now. And life is good. And life is happy. So check them out if you're interested. And also the Ignite program is what we've been running for the past year and a bit now. And it's basically you just get a studio manager that works with you and they book weddings. So they run paid ads, they convert those leads and they get you out there shooting and making money. It's a really, really cool program. I'll put links down below to that as well. Next, I have a few more things to mention. So one that I don't actually use that Lindsay, my wife, uses is Superhuman for email. It makes her email life a lot better. The automatic AI or AI based on how you've answered emails in the past, that is just, I would say, next level. For me, I don't actually have a ton of email, which is weird to say. So I just manage everything on my own. I'm sure I could speed this up with Superhuman. And if I ever get back into a period of my life where there's a ton of email coming at me all day, every day, I'll absolutely get it. And there's probably no reason. I should probably just do it right now. Now we got two more. Fundy for doing all my albums. And I don't do a whole lot of wall art and I don't do many thank you cards. I'm sure I probably should. This is mostly just a video of the things that I should be doing, that I know that I should be doing, that I'm not currently doing. Fundy Designer for albums, makes albums and the auto builds, just drag the images you want it to build an album with, and it does a very, very, very good job. And the last one, I've changed my hat. Pic-Time. So I'm an ambassador of Imagen as well as a Pic-Time. And what Pic-Time is it is the best gallery delivery system out there. It is wonderful for us as hybrid photo video shooters because it does photos and videos. You can also do little video clips within your gallery as well. That's something that's interesting to you. And if you use the automations, so there's a number of automations that are like early bird offers. So when people first sign into their gallery, they're gonna get hit with a time sensitive offer. And there's gonna be banners in the gallery, all tasteful of course. And then they also get emails to let them know that the sale is closing. And these things push print sales dramatically. And without these automations, I don't think I would ever sell anything. So Pic-Time pays for itself in that sense, that it's generating you new revenue that otherwise would just have disappeared. I guess I should also state that I'm not in any sort of like IPS situation in my business, that everything that I do, if I shoot a wedding, everyone just gets the images to download. And sometimes they'll ask me to print them, but a lot of the time they'll just download them and take them to wherever else that they get their prints from. If you want to get started with Pic-Time, there is a link down below and you'll actually get my full preset catalog as well. So that comes with it and you get a free month to make sure it's for you. And then if you do sign up officially, you will get another free month. There's also a free plan. And if you are sitting on a current gallery system and you have like 20 or 30 other galleries, or maybe even, I think I had 200 or 300 other galleries on my other old host, if that is you, you can actually have them migrate everything over for you, which is really, really amazing. And also it's just that there's an automation for gallery migration as well. And by that, I mean that you basically just click go and the email addresses that were assigned to that gallery on your previous host have been brought over and they will be alerted. Hey, your gallery is now hosted here. Come by, 20% off. Week 1, you set the whatever discount you want. Thanks again to Vernal for sponsoring this video. Click the link and use the discount code here on the screen to get an extra 6% off. I'll see you again next time.